everyone, it's Miss Lisa from First Presbyterian Church in Greensboro. I hope all of you are well, and here is our story time for this week. I'm going to be reading Maybe God is Like That Too by Jennifer Grant, illustrated by Benjamin Shipper. Maybe God is like that too. I live in the city, where the sidewalks and subway cars and buildings and buses are packed with people. But I've never seen God before. Grandma, does God live in the city? I asked one morning at breakfast. Yes, God is here, she says. You just need to know where to look. Whenever you see love, joy, peace, God is there, she says, stirring her tea. Wherever there's patience, kindness, and goodness, God is there too. When you see faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, that's God's Spirit at work. On the way to school, I'm on the lookout. I see a bus full of tourists and count 10 bright yellow taxis. I spy a man sweeping at a stoop, and Grandma and I laugh when we see a tiny dog wearing a fluffy purple sweater. At school, Grandma hands me my lunch and hugs me close before she says goodbye. That's what love looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. On the swings, I pump so hard I see over the wall into the alley. My friends shout, "Higher, higher," as my feet fly way up into the sky. That's what joy looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. Outside, car horns blast and sirens scream, but my classroom is quiet and calm. That's what peace looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I try to tie my shoes, but the laces tangle around my fingers. My teacher sits down beside me and shows me how to tie them. That's what patience looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. On the way home, I see a doorman wearing a red cape and a hat with a shiny brim. He's holding the door for a man using a wheelchair. The man moves very slowly, and the doorman chats with him and smiles. That's what kindness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. While I'm setting the table for dinner, there's a knock at the door. It's our neighbor from downstairs bringing us a loaf of bread. It's golden brown and warm and wrapped in a thin white towel. That's what goodness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. After dinner, I work on my homework while Grandma stands at the kitchen sink washing dishes and humming to herself, just like she does every single night. That's what faithfulness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. At bedtime, Grandma sits at the edge of my bed, singing me a lullaby and stroking my head. She tucks my blankets up close around me. That's what gentleness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I lie in bed, watching the curtains flutter. I want to talk about that dog we saw today and how high I can swing. But Grandma says that once I'm tucked in, I have to stay in bed until morning. I close my eyes and try to fall asleep. That's what self-control looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I saw God over and over again today. Wherever I saw love, joy, and peace, and wherever there was patience, kindness, and goodness. When I saw faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, I saw God's Spirit at work. I don't see God the way I see my friends, or the streetlights, or the river, but I see signs of God's Spirit all around me, right here in the city. I know what God is like. Maybe I can be like that too. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 23. The end. The book we read today was about the fruit of the Spirit, which is a very familiar Bible verse to most of us. I wanted to give you a couple activities you could try as you remember the verse. One thing you could do is grab some magazines from around your house and flip through to find pictures of fruit. Make a fruit collage. As you glue down the pieces of fruit on a piece of paper, you can think about the fruits of the Spirit the Bible verse lists and see how many you can remember. Another thing you could do is to make fruit salad together with your family. Again, as you put different kinds of fruit in the bowl, you can think about the fruits of the Spirit and see how many you could name. One last idea is to make a fruit of the Spirit hopscotch path outside. Use some sidewalk chalk to make a hopscotch path on your driveway or your sidewalk, and in each square you can write the words of the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, and as you jump on the squares in your hopscotch board, you can recite the words. One more thing we can do is to say the fruit of the Spirit in sign language. I'm going to do it for you, and then you can do it along with me and practice it again on your own. It would go like this. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. May we live by the Spirit. A special way you can pray with the fruit of the Spirit is to do a color prayer. If you or your parents go online, you can find lots of different coloring pages for the fruit of the Spirit that you can print out. And as you color them, when you're coloring with each different color, you can think about lots of things that are that same color. For example, if you're thinking about orange, you might think about the sun. You might think about a favorite stuffed animal. And you can say a prayer of thanksgiving for all the things that are those colors as you color your coloring page. If you do that and color your Fruit of the Spirit coloring page, I'd love for you to send me a picture of it because I would love to see what you came up with. I'll see you next week for another story time. Bye!